Okay, so welcome to lesson two. We're just going to be starting off right here where we left off on lesson one, and we're just going to be modifying lesson one very slightly so that we can add new counters. So this new counter function is going to stay exactly the same. We're not going to change it whatsoever. All we're going to do is add some new functionality to the main handler. And so now instead of just creating a single counter, what we're interested in is actually creating a list of counters. So let's create a list of counters. And that's going to also be a source, just like the previous, just like here, like a 0. But it's going to be a list of these little widgets. And so we're just going to say this is a list of xbody. And the reason why this is a list of xbody is because this is what this new counter returns, is that it returns an XML body. And so what we're going to do is create a new button to add some counters. So let's call it add. And on click, what we're going to do is we're going to take the state of the page. Excuse me. There we go. So we're going to take the state of the page, and then we're going to take the state of this list source, because we want to add to this list body. So we're going to do this kind of similar pattern where we're getting something and then setting it. So we're going to get that list source, and what we're going to do is now make a new counter, because we need to add the counter to this list. And we're just going to set the list source to a counter with the old. That's it. That's it's about as simple as it gets. So we just get it, make a new counter, and then add the new counter to the front of the list. So obviously, if I compile this, I guess I just will, all we're going to get is an add button that does nothing. That's not surprising. It does compile, so we know that all the types match up. So let's add a little dyn tag to show off what this list has inside of it. So we're gonna have a similar functionality to what we just did. We're gonna get the list, the signal of the list, and then what we're gonna do is then I need to really switch my Emacs configuration. It's really wonky today. I don't know why. So yes, we're going to get the state of the list, and then we're going to return a little bit of XML. And how we're going to return that XML is that because this is a list of XML bodies, we need to render that entire list so that we can show that on the page. So what we're going to do is use this built-in function called list_mapx. So it's just like a list.map, but it returns XML instead of another list. And what we're going to do is take each item in that list and then just simply return the value of that XML, or the value of that item in there. And that's about it. And then obviously we need to pipe in the list. So let's compile that. Oh, seems like I forgot my import. So here it says there's this unbound structure list. So let's quickly add that to the ERP file. And that's it. That's all you have to do. All right, that compiled. So Seems like I got a runtime failure. Ah, yes. So the way that this quoting works is that when you have a square brackets, it'll actually render it differently than the way that you do on a regular one. So it's very common for me to confuse the two. And so basically, when in doubt, just remove the inner brackets. And so here we go. We've got all these nice incrementers now, and they all seem to work. Although it does seem like I need to add one more break because there you go. Don't want that on the same line as the add. So there we go. That's nice. All right, that seems to work. So now what we're interested in is actually the a new button, because we got to remove these counters, right? We can't just add counters all the time. We also want to remove some counters. So let's delete them, and then on click, let's have a function that gets the list, just like the add. And then, so the thing is if we have an empty list, right? If we don't have any counters on the screen already, and we hit delete again, we want it to do nothing. So let's handle that case. So we're gonna say the case of case L of. So if it's empty, then we just do nothing. Otherwise, if there is something, we just pop off the front value and set the list source to be the value of the tail of the list, or of the removing the head of the list. So let's compile that. It seems to work. So now I can add and delete to our heart's content. However, there's one thing about this application that I don't really like, is that when we delete it, you're deleting from the top. So that doesn't seem to be suitable. So we can very quickly remedy that by instead just reversing the list here. Now we have something that has a little bit, in my opinion, saner semantics, where it's removing from the bottom rather than from the top. So I think that's a bit nicer, rather than it shuffling around all those counters. So there you go. We've got a very simple adding and deleting incrementer widget website. So the thing is that this is also still unsatisfying, and this leads to our third lesson, which is the final state of this that this application will take before we start having cycles of reimplementation. And what I'm interested in is being able to not just create a stack of counters where we're popping new counters on and or pushing new counters on and popping them off, but it'd be nice if there was a third button that could I could select to delete individual counters rather than just pushing and popping them on the list. And so that's what we'll be implementing in the third lesson. So I'll see you there.